Hi everybody, so today we're going to be making line rockets, and to start this we're going to be using a small strip of paper. I have the skinny end facing up so it's vertical, and we're going to use this Let's Go Doodling How to Draw a Rocket drawing guide, and we're also going to start in pencil in case you make any mistakes. So step one is we're going to make this interesting cone shape. Will look like the top of our rocket. So we want to have this rocket pretty much fill up this entire sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start about halfway. I'm going to do a straight line up and then curve towards the middle. What I did on this side, I'm also going to do backwards on the other side. So curve line down and then straight line and stop where it matches here. It almost looks like a long stretched out letter C. If you make a mistake, don't worry, you can just erase it. Step two says we have to make these three little teardrop shapes. The first one is right here located at the bottom of the left side of our rocket. So what I'm going to do this part is I'm going to do a straight line down just on the inside of the line I made. Then I'm going to loop the top and then narrow it out towards the bottom and give it a point. What I did on this side, I'm also going to do on this side. So straight line on the inside, about equal to here, curve line down, and then straighten it out to a point. If you make a mistake, like I said, just adjust and erase where you need to. There's also a teardrop shape in the middle. So to start, I'm going to find my middle, so straight down. I'm going to do a half circle, and then each line to a point, and then to another point there. So that was step two. Step three is we need to do the lines at the bottom and at the top. So at the top, it's just a straight line across. And at the bottom, in between our three little teardrop shapes that we made, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that go all the way across. These lines are parallel, which means they do not cross. So it's almost like railroad tracks, or if you're looking down a road, the lines on the road, they never ever cross, even though they might look like they do in the distance. So there's my lines there. Now we're on to step 4. Up near our top of our rocket, there are 2 parallel lines going straight across, 1 and 2. And then there's also our little wings that are popping off the side of our rocket. So I'm going to move to the middle of my side. I'm going to do a curve line down, then straight in. What I did on that side, I'm going to do on the other side. Curve line down, straight in. Now we're on to step 5. Here are some detail lines. So above our 2 parallel lines here, we just have little tiny lines, so little notches. You could even curve these if you want to, but they're just detail lines. It looks like I have 2 detail lines here, and then we have a circle in the middle. Now remember, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Just put it right in the middle. So that's our step 5. Step 6 is our flame. Now our flame can be kind of different. So if you want to make 2 flames or 3 flames, whatever you want, you can do them here. But they start at the middle of our teardrop shape here. So I'm going to do a rounded curve shape here, a rounded curve shape here, and then a little swirly curvy line at the bottom. And then another detail line in the middle that kind of looks like our teardrop shape that we did up here. If you want to add more than 1 flame, you can. I think I'm going to just do the same thing again on this side and attach it there, and then I think I'm also going to do another one over here like that, and then my detail line that's underneath this one like that. So I have 3 flames instead of 1. The drawing guide only has 1, but we want to make these look pretty unique. There we go, my rocket is done. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace it with Sharpie. Perfect, now that everything is traced with Sharpie, what I'm going to do is take my eraser and just erase any of those extra pencil marks that are just popping through to make it look really nice. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to cut out your rocket. Now be careful you don't cut too far into your rocket and cut off parts of it, because there are little small parts. So I would work with little snips first working right on that black line that you just drew, and cut everything out. Helpful hint when you're cutting out the flames, cut out big first and then cut in, pull your scissors out, and then cut to your other cuts, and this will help the piece fall right out. Okay, so rocket is all cut out. Just in case, flip it over and write your name on the back. And voila, there's our rocket. Perfect, and my rocket is complete. Next, what we want to do is we want to pretend that our rocket is launching off of our page of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue my rocket up in the top left-hand corner of my paper. And I have my paper facing horizontally. I think vertically might work too, but I think I want to do it horizontally. So then what you're going to do is take your glue and you're going to put it on the back of just your rocket. Don't put it on your flames, just your rocket. So right about where the circle is on the front side, I'm going to put glue on the back side because we want our flames to look like they're coming off the page. So I'm going to go top left-hand corner, flip it like that. Put my glue away. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this to dry, but kind of fold up my flames to make it look like they're coming off the page. You can also fold up the front, and I'm not creasing it, I'm just kind of pulling it up a little bit, and while it dries. Perfect, so there is our rocket. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add lines coming off of our rocket, and we're gonna do this using Sharpie. So since we're using Sharpie, you wanna work very, very slowly. We wanna make these lines look really, really nice. The first line, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a dashed or dotted line. So I'm gonna start at the top of my flame over here, and I'm gonna do this line going out towards the edge of my paper. So I'm gonna put my marker down, pick it up, 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 just like that. Next is our zigzag line. So right below our dash line, we're gonna do zigzag. And I'm kind of holding my rocket up while I do this. Zigzag is up, then down, up, then down, up, then down, up, down, going all the way to the edge of my paper. Notice I'm taking my time in a lot of control of that marker. Next one down is going to be our castle line. Castle line goes out, up, out, down, out, up, out, down, out, up, out, down, and then off the edge of the paper. Next, we're gonna do our loopy line. So I'm going right down my rocket. Loopy line goes oop, oop, oop. It almost looks like an E or like a ribbon or a swirl. So keep doing that loopy motion all the way to the edge of your paper. This now will help if you turn your paper. So turn your paper just a little bit so that your arm is in the right position. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a dash line, but instead of dashes, we're gonna do swirls. So we're gonna do a spiral swirl, pick up your marker. Another spiral swirl, pick up your marker. It's almost like I'm doing a lowercase e. So swirl, pick it up, swirl, pick it up, swirl, pick it up, all the way to the edge. Beautiful. I'm gonna turn my paper again. This one was pretty hard, so let's do an easy one. This one is going to be parallel lines. Parallel lines, like our rocket, go straight down, but they never ever cross. So 1, 2. They almost look like railroad tracks, so go ahead, do your parallel lines. I'm gonna continue turning my paper. The next line that we're gonna do is just a wavy line. So for this one, I'm gonna go up like a U and back down. Up like a U, back down. That's just a bumpy line all the way across. And then the last line that we're going to do is going to be another dashed or dotted line. But for this one, we're going to do tiny, tiny dashes. So dash, 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 all the way to the edge. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to paint in the sections in between our lines. So we're using watercolor paint. So to start and activate our watercolors, we need to put a little bit of water on them and get them all loaded up onto our paintbrush. For darker colors, you want to use less water, and for lighter colors, you want to use more water. So when I have my paintbrush here, I want to have a good hair day. So I'm going to just start painting in between my sections of my lines. So I'm going to start with red, and I'm going to have a good hair day and really control where that paint goes, pushing it wherever it needs to go. That. You can also take paper towels, crimple them up, and lightly tap them onto your paint to create a really cool texture. To make the colors darker too, you just go back in with some more paint and put that dark paint where you want it. So I'm going to fast forward for this part where we're painting, and you're just going to do a different color in each section. So you'll have a new one here, 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 and you're just going to paint in each and every section. Something you'll notice too, if the color next to it is still wet, the colors are going to bleed or blend together. So if I put this green right next to this yellow, they're going to mix a little bit because the colors are still both wet. So keep that in mind when you're doing your colors. You're going to have a little bit of mixing, which is okay. Perfect, so now that my paint's starting to dry, I'm gonna just touch up some spots where I think they need some more color. I'm also leaving this up here white, but I'm gonna add little bits of stars. So I'm gonna take little dots of yellow and tap them in. If you wanna do stars, you can add them in, but you wanna think about the rocket going into space. So what might be in front of the rocket? So I'm gonna just do dots and then touch up some last spots. Alrighty, and my rocket ship is all finished. I double checked to make sure there was no white spots, and I added my stars in. And when you're all done, pick it up like a pizza and bring it over to the drying rack.